Chapter 38, Interested in a high-paying job across the street. A young man in a floral shirt glanced at a few people, nodded in satisfaction, and then walked over. "Are you folks looking for work? Our company is hiring, providing meals and accommodations, paying 200 points each, and it's an 8-hour workday, just like before the apocalypse. What do you think? Interested in finding out more? Our company is not far ahead. You can come with us to take a look." The familiar routine. The clichéd words. The suspicious look. Could anyone really believe that pie would fall from the sky? Jiang Ran and the others fell silent. Seeing them staring at him, the young man touched his face. "Is there something on my face?" All 5 of them shook their heads. The young man continued, "Opportunities like this don't come by often. Only our company urgently needs new hires. I came over to ask because I thought you all looked promising." Jiang Ran curiously asked, "Do we look like fools to you?" "What?" The young man looked bewildered. Jiang Ran directly refused, "We're not interested. Go find someone else. We haven't sunk to that level. Go to the government hall." At this point, Ji Qingcheng spoke up and turned to walk forward. When they were looking for work earlier, he had inquired about the location of the government hall. Jiang Ran followed, and Jiang Ran and Guansong, the couple, hurried to catch up. The young man scoffed and continued standing by the street, searching for potential targets. After their previous questioning experience and encountering scammers coming to them, the group gave up completely on the idea of finding work. Who knew if these shops along the street were shady businesses? Rather than wearing themselves out here, they might as well venture outside. After all, they had gained a lot of experience on their journey here. They believed that working together, they should be able to complete some simple tasks. The government hall was located at the center of the entire safe zone, about half an hour's journey from where Jiang Ran and the others were staying in the shanty town. Most of the streets they passed on the way were lined with various shops, and residents frequently entered and exited nearby residential areas. A rough estimate. This safe zone probably had tens of thousands of people, if not more. With their group of migrants, the population was even larger. No wonder prices for goods had skyrocketed. As they got closer to the center of the safe zone, the streets grew busier. There were even popular pre-apocalypse foods, like bubble tea, stinky tofu, snail noodles, hot and sour noodles, and cold noodles. Jiang Ran also noticed that even though traffic lights were no longer effective, the city's surveillance system was still functioning. While not covering every corner, it monitored most areas of the safe zone. Wan. After passing a street filled with snacks, a surprised voice sounded. Yu Zioan quickly stopped and looked towards the voice. An apron-clad, plain-faced woman in her 50s was teary-eyed with excitement. Seeing the woman's face clearly, Yu Zioan couldn't help but exclaim, "Auntie, what are you doing here?" The woman was Yu Zioan's mother's younger sister, Yu Kalian. She was Yu Zioan's maternal aunt. Upon getting confirmation, Yu Kalian was overjoyed and quickly walked over, inspecting Yu Zioan from head to toe to confirm she was her niece. She was extremely happy. Wan, it's really you. I thought I must be mistaken." Guansong also called out with a smile. Yu Kalian held Yu Zioan's hand tightly, relieved, "As long as you're safe. I heard that your city was taken over by mutant creatures. Your uncle and I were so worried. I asked your uncle to inquire about your news, and he didn't even bother." Seeing Yu Kalian about to scold her husband again and making herself feel unhappy, Yu Zioan quickly changed the subject. "Auntie, let me introduce you to my friends. We managed to escape from the city safely thanks to their help. After that, Yu Zioan introduced Jiang Ran and the other two to Yu Kalian. The three of them politely greeted her. Yu Kalian thanked them with a smile. Thank you all. It's just me and my sister. My sister passed away a few years ago, so now only Wan is left as my blood relative. While they were talking, a young man in his 20s came out of a snail noodle shop, carrying takeout boxes. Boss, the electric company ordered 10 portions of snail noodles. I'm delivering them. The woman smiled. Sure, go ahead. Be careful. Got it. The young man nodded at them and jogged towards the end of the street with the takeout boxes on his back. Yu Zioan glanced at the nearby shop and asked in surprise, Auntie, is this your shop? The woman nodded. You know how much I love to eat. Your uncle is busy all day, so I opened this shop to pass the time. Saying that, she looked at the two men. Did you just arrive today? Both of them nodded. She continued, you probably haven't found a place to stay yet. Your uncle and I have empty rooms at home. Don't bother looking for a place. Just come stay with us. Yu Zioan hesitated. Auntie, it's not like the pre-apocalypse times. It's really troublesome. I don't want to inconvenience you. The woman waved it off. You know, your uncle and I don't have any children. We treated you like our own daughter since you were little. Your uncle is a workaholic, with work always on his mind. He doesn't pay attention to me. Living together with me will make the house livelier. It's also less of a burden for you. Rent in the safe zone isn't cheap, and utilities add up each month. Yu Zioan felt guilty. They had come all this way together. And she couldn't just leave Jiang Ran and the others behind. Jiang Ran saw the whole process and felt that Yu Zioan's aunt didn't seem fake. He smiled and said, Sister Zioan, all good things must come to an end. If you have a good place to stay, don't hesitate. But you guys. Yu Zioan felt conflicted, and Ji Qingcheng spoke, we've managed to survive on our own so far. Don't worry. Yu Kalian smiled, meeting is fate. Come, Auntie will treat you all to a bowl of snail noodles. You can't find these anywhere else. No need, Auntie. Jiang Ran declined with a smile. After that, the three of them had a bowl of snail noodles at Yu Kalian's shop. She generously added plenty of toppings, and they left with full stomachs. Ji Qinglan was satisfied, and Jiang Ran found it quite good. While it might not be as delicious as the snail noodles from his space, each had its own unique taste. After eating and drinking, Jiang Ran's group bid farewell to Yu Zioan and her husband and continued on to the government hall. With Yu Kalian's guidance, they made a beeline for their destination and soon arrived at the entrance of the government hall. It was a 3-story standalone commercial center built outside the residential area. It had been requisitioned by the safe zone to be the sole location for issuing and verifying tasks. Many people were entering and leaving the entrance. Most of them wore worried expressions, sighing and lamenting. A small number wore smiles and left with companions. Entering the hall, they were met with a modern atmosphere. Various LCD screens displayed the day's tasks, and staff in uniforms bustled around, constantly busy.